Author's note. I find this chapter incredibly weird to narrate. It also doesn't have an epigraph, so this counts. The Daily Grind, Chapter 195, Appendix. Roster. By species. Humans, 188. 1 child, 14 other minors. Dungeon, 1. 1 child. Camercondas, 81. 12 children. Striders, 1. Drones, 1. Mongoose, 1. Paper dragons, 3. 2 undeveloped. Shalaxes, 9. Rat roaches, 2. Stuff animals, 1. Rain clouds, 1. Assignment type infomorphs, 3. Navigator type infomorphs, 2. Authority type infomorphs, 12. All 12 presently non-sophant. Digital/arcane AI, 0. Sorted by primary non-delver role. Recovery, 22 humans, 6 camercondas, 1 navigator. Response, 80 humans, 19 camercondas, 12 authorities. Research, 26 humans, 1 assignment, 3 camercondas. Rogues, 8 humans, 1 camerconda. Ritual, 2 humans, 1 camerconda. Miscellaneous support staff, 11 humans. Internship program, 14 humans. Children, 1 human, 12 camercondas, 1 dungeon. Affiliated dependents, 20 humans, 19 camercondas. Available blue orbs. Manipulate asphalt, sourced from the telepad, 14 charges. Function, allows moving and shaping asphalt. As with most absorbed blue orbs, concentration improves the detail available, but even without that, a large amount of brute force is available on demand. Separate alloy. Source, unknown. Charges, 9. Function, splits an alloyed metal into its component ingredients with an almost perfect purity. Will always attempt to pull smaller components out of the larger mass. Create plan. Source, office chair that healed back pain before becoming broken. Note from Davis, I said I was sorry. Charges, 13. Function, adds a short-term tactical plan to the minds of anyone you are working with. The plan appears to be able to go out to 3 steps of action, but you must have an idea of a plan first, so the name is actually a misnomer. And there is no feedback on whether anyone is following the plan outside of mundane communication. Note: this is actually a size 3 blue orb and is one of the only ones that we have found. Absorbing it is barely possible even for the people who are good at it, and using it causes, at minimum, headaches and nosebleeds. Use with caution. Break electronic. Source, pen that wrote in outline text. Charges, 7. Function, breaks targeted electronic device. Device does not need to be on. If nothing is targeted, it will find an electronic device. Range currently unclear. Refit. Source, unknown. Charges, 12. Function, shapes a piece of clothing or armor to fit the person currently wearing it to their best specifications. Does not work on most animals and does not add or remove material from the garment. Does work on status quo items, retaining their magic and making them more easily usable by camercondas, or people with different body types. List of status quo items. Note: order-produced copies of status quo items start with a single ability at level 1. They also appear to improve with fewer uses, though this does take time when low-level recharge times are high. Highest held levels often come from status quo original items. The Shield Bracer. First ability, Stockpile Bladed Weapon Impact. Always available. Highest current level, 25. 100 charges to improve, plus 300 charges per level. Cooldown time of 12 hours, minus 30 minutes per level. Maximum charges 10, plus 5 per level. Creates a highly visible dome of light that negates the energy of an incoming attack of the set type. By default, this is a bladed weapon impact. At level 8, this unlocks the ability to toggle it to be set automatically. Second ability, Battlefield Alteration. Unlocks at Stockpile level 3. Highest level 8. 500 charges, plus 50 per level, to level up. Cooldown of 4 hours, minus 10 minutes per level. Stores 5 charges, plus 1 per level. Changes the designated attack for Stockpile. Attacks must be selected from things that have passed within the range of the Shield Bracer to have blocked, and are occasionally asynchronic with each other. For example, you can select car, but not bullet. You must select an individual caliber of bullet. Selecting gun will stop being physically struck by a gun, and has nothing to do with being shot. At level 3, this ability also unlocks the ability to be toggled automatically. Grieve. First ability, Knight's Stance. Always available. Highest level 81. 500 plus 300 per level to level up. Does not have a cooldown or charges. While wearing the Grieve, the wearer experiences a passive correction to their stance to prevent tripping, being off balance, or standing out of position. This correction appears to cap out at half a degree of shift per level. Uniquely, this power does not use charges, and continues to level up as it is worn, equating to what appears to be 1 point per hour. Armorer's Vault. Unlocks at Knight's Stance 20. Highest level, 12. 200 plus 100 uses per level to level up. Cooldown of 4 hours, minus 10 minutes per level. Stores 10 charges, plus 5 per level. When triggered, manipulates the body into a strike using the Grieve as the intended impact point, generating a set amount of force regardless of the strength of the wearer. This kick can target any point up to 3 meters away, and the effects of the motion will not cause physical harm to the wearer. Corollary, the effects of the impact can. Gun Bracelet. First ability, Bind Firearm. Always available. Highest known level, 3. 10 charges, plus 80 per level to level up. Cooldown of 250 days, minus 10 days per level. Stores 1 charge, plus an estimated half a charge per level. Use of this ability connects the bracelet to a discrete projectile weapon, allowing the use of other abilities. The weapon cannot use purely mechanical energy to fire, and must be capable of firing multiple rounds before reloading. Second ability, Cluster Shot. Unlocks at Bind Firearm level 2. Highest level 54. Requires 1000 plus 1000 per level uses to level up. Cooldown of 3 hours minus 5 minutes per level. Stores 3 charges plus 2 per level. Use of Cluster Shot fires a 3-round burst from the bound weapon, with bullets shunted away from each other in overlapping space after they have left the gun. Generally, they will hit the same target within roughly 1 inch. This attack uses loaded ammunition currently in the weapon. Every 30 levels adds 1 bullet to the cluster. Third ability, Munitions Dump. Unlocks at Cluster Shot level 20. Highest known level, 25. 200 plus 200 uses per level to level up. Cooldown of 8 hours, minus 20 minutes per level. Stores 20 charges plus 5 per level. When used, fully reloads the magazine of the bound weapon with the most commonly loaded last munition. Material appears to be created from nothing, but will not duplicate anything below an arbitrary quality. At level 20, this unlocks the ability to toggle this to activate automatically when ammunition is depleted. Fourth ability, Friendly Fire, unlocks at cluster shot level 40 and munitions dump level 25, highest level 2, 100 plus 250 charges per level to level up. Cooldown of 4 hours minus 10 minutes per level, stores 10 charges plus 2 per level. When used, causes the next shot made with the weapon to be physically incapable of interacting with anyone thought of as friendly or non-combatant. This includes for potentially useful means, example, pushing somebody. Friendly Fire also considers all bullets from cluster shot to be the same shot. Glove, left-handed. First ability, Break Wood, always available. Highest level 16, 100 plus 100 charges per level to level up. Cooldown of 2 days, minus 20 minutes per level, stores 5 charges, plus 2 per level. When triggered, checks if the next object the glove comes into contact with is wood. If it is, the applied force is magnified, with none of the extra force affecting anything that is not the wood contacted. Second ability, Shatter Stone, unlocked at Break Wood level 5. Highest level 12, 100 plus 100 uses to level up per level. Cooldown of 2 days, minus 20 minutes per level. Stores 5 charges plus 2 charges per level. When triggered, checks if the next object the glove comes into contact with is stone. If it is, the applied force is magnified, with none of the extra force affecting anything that is not the stone contacted. Applied force is focused in a way that makes it highly likely for the stone to break into small pieces at high speed. Third ability, Melt Iron, unlocked at Break Wood 10 and Shatter Stone 5. Highest level 5, 100 plus 100 uses per level to level up. Cooldown of 2 days minus 20 minutes per level, stores 5 charges plus 2 per level. When triggered, checks if the next object the glove comes into contact with is iron, including primarily iron alloys such as steel. If it is, the applied force is highly magnified and converted to primarily heat, with none of the heat or force affecting anything that is not the iron contacted. Heat is self-sustaining for 1 second per level. Fourth ability, Annihilate Bone, unlocked at Break Wood level 15, Shatter Stone level 10, and Melt Iron level 5, highest level 2. 100 plus 100 charges per level to level up, cooldown of 2 days minus 20 minutes per level, stores 5 charges plus 2 per level. When triggered, checks if the next object the glove comes into contact with is bone. If it is, 1 ounce per level of bone is removed. Reed's note, we say magnified for most of these because if you just tap something, it won't break. The harder you hit, the more power you get out of this. Initial testing with copies using the wood setting do seem to make it look like higher levels also cause more of a kick. Brooch. First ability, Purify Food, always available. Highest level 10. 20 uses, plus 20 per level, to level up. Cooldown of 2 days, minus 2 hours per level. Stores 10 charges, plus 10 per level. When triggered, removes contaminants, including harmful microbes, from target amount of food. The range for this one is weird, but seems to follow the rule that it easily scales up in size if you are hitting the same type of thing. For example, you could purify 100 pounds of lettuce, but only 20 pounds of mixed salad, and half that if you add chicken to the mix. Additionally, this works on water, and will purify up to 14,000 gallons of water with a single charge. Second ability, Bind Processor, unlocks at Purify Food level 10. Highest level 1. 5 uses to level up, unknown how many uses beyond that. Cooldown of 60 days, with an unknown reduction per level. Stores one charge with an unknown additional number per level. Binds the brooch to a processor. Nick's note. Don't at me, we don't know. Hairpin. First ability, index documents. Always available. Highest level 12, 20 plus 30 uses per level to level up. Cooldown of 20 hours minus 22 minutes per level. Stores 10 charges plus 3 per level. Organizes a set of up to 3 plus level documents into the most efficient pattern possible, first based on existing organizational systems nearby, and if those are not available, then on the mindset of the user. A document can include multiple pages or pieces of similar media, but if used on a single document, it will sort the pages internally. Second ability, Complete Document. Unlocked at Index Document 5. Highest level 3. 10 plus 10 uses per level to level up. Cooldown of 14 days minus 40 minutes per level. Stores 3 charges plus 1 per level. When used, fills out target document with missing information, using all available information that the user has access to. This ability will not editorialize. The Earring. First ability, Avoid Hostility. Always available. Highest level 16, 300 plus 200 per level charges to level up. Cooldown of 3 days, minus 15 minutes per level. Stores 4 charges plus 1 per level. When activated, the wearer becomes more difficult to detect by anyone who means them legitimate harm, and harder to target by hostile effects. This obfuscation of targeting seems to increase with the power's level, and extends to both mundane and magical effects, including both aiming at with a firearm or pulling information about with a red totem. The effect lasts roughly 5 minutes per level of the power. At level 10, this unlocks the ability to be set to automatically activate when needed, though it occasionally activates for no discernible reason. Reed's note. This is either because we're accidentally aiming emails at each other, or because outside forces are trying to spy on us, and it's not clear which, but the option is on the table that we're haunted. Second ability, Optical Invisibility, unlocked at Avoid Hostility 5. Highest level, 7. 400 plus 400 per level uses to level up. Cooldown of 5 days, minus 25 minutes per level. Stores 6 charges, plus 1 per level. When activated, warps light around the wearer such that they become mostly invisible to the human eye. This only affects light in what is commonly considered the visual range, and can be bypassed easily by seeing in infrared, microwave, or any of the other common options available to the Order. It is currently unconfirmed, but believed that this ability lasts for 1 minute per level. Third ability, Perfected Strike, unlocked at Avoid Hostility 10 and Optical Invisibility 5. Highest level 6, 50 plus 150 per level charges required to level up. Cooldown of 12 hours, minus 5 minutes per level. Stores 10 charges, plus 3 per level. When activated, the user's next attempt to strike something will automatically be corrected to maximize the force of the impact and the damage done to the target, as well as correcting to be closer to where the user wanted the strike to land. This does not function for any form of strike that does not have continuous material contact with the user, such as a gun or a thrown weapon. But it also does not require actual personal violence to trigger, and can be used during construction to properly fit lumber cuts. At level 5, this further changes to include a potential causal violation, allowing strikes that could not have possibly hit to make contact, altering the current position of the user with no drawbacks as long as it is within roughly 2 inches of distance per level. The Crown. Spirit Ignition, always available. Highest level, 14. 5,000 plus 1,000 per level uses to advance. Cooldown of 8 days, minus 2 hours per level. Stores 20 charges, plus a quarter of a charge per level. These are estimates based on the status quo version and information from other copies. There is no pure copy of the Crown. It is too large to fit in the copier. Davis's note. Fuck this thing. We don't know what it's doing, we only know what it does. What follows is a list of known effects of the ability. Improved ability to focus. Adds 1 charge to any absorbed blue orb. Adds 1 point to any ongoing sewer lesson, but does not give associated knowledge. Reduces chronic pain. Helps with light or noise sensitivity. Helps with generalized anxiety disorder. Compacts stored velocity, reducing the total amount available to be used, but making whatever spell it is used on much more potent. Returns stored breath, oxygenating blood, boosting heart rate, and clearing sinuses. Increases desire to write and consume poetry. Winter's Climb spells. Breath. Breath is a measure of power usable to fuel the spells granted by the Mountain Dungeon. A person with a breath cap will slowly regenerate it as they continue to breathe normally, and it does not appear to sap anything from them at the time. Using breath causes dizziness, a drop in body temperature, and chest pains. Order members who have oxygen requirements below that of a baseline human will find that their breath regenerates slower than normal, but that the effects of its use are also lessened. Breath is gained by ascending Winter's Climb, with your cap being determined by the highest distance you have ever reached. Delvers report that their breath cap consistently maps out to 1 breath per 30 feet ascended. Spells. Every 1,000 feet of the climb ascended opens up 1 spell slot for the user. Occasionally, within the dungeon, textbooks can be discovered, which, if an individual with an empty spell slot makes contact with them and focuses, can have a spell extracted and applied to that spell slot, becoming permanently available to the caster. Each spell has a breath cost, an immediate effect, and a stated duration that is often incorrect. Once acquired, a Winter's Climb spell cannot be changed out. Discretion is advised. Currently available spellbooks are Thermodynamic Tunnel, costs 5 breath, permanent. When cast, the spell links 2 points in space in such a way so that heat is constantly shifted from one to the other. The tunnel is one way, does not fade, and is relative to the position of Earth. Fractal Avalanche, costs 2 breath, lasts seconds. Splits the caster into 3 mirrored copies of themselves, performing the same physical actions and recombining when the duration expires. The angle and direction can be changed freely across copies. Each copy is a physical extension of you, and are not individual people, only your own body repeated. Extra breath can be used to extend the time. Iced Veins. 1 breath, instant. Converts an amount of cold or frozen water into blood. If used while in contact with a living organism that uses blood, the created substance can be safely produced inside the organism. The colder the water used, the more control over the outcome, with ice automatically matching the blood type of the recipient. Mountain of the Self. 10 breath, instant. Instant means roughly half a second, with the breath cost repeating for every half a second this is maintained. For that duration, nothing can kill you. Inertia still functions, but you cannot be moved by anything you do not wish to move you. Force that comes into contact with you is repulsed directly back at its source, and the caster becomes completely non-conductive to anything they do not wish to conduct. Invincibility, but only for a moment. Route Horizon spells. Spells from Route Horizon are gained by collecting scraps of maps from within the dungeon and finding places where those maps connect or overlap with each other. The larger an area of map can be connected, the more expensive and powerful the spell appears to be. It is not yet clear if it is possible to add more map segments once a spell is generated. Delvers report that during creation they experience a personal vision of a darkened globe, with lines lit up that highlight the patch of planet that their spell's maps represent. There is no known way to see this again without gaining another spell, and no testing on what happens if the area of 2 existing spells overlaps. All spells are generated with the Delver having full knowledge of what they can do, as well as the cost and velocity. As map chunks are consumed upon use, no currently known spells can be replicated. Velocity is a measure of power usable to fuel the spells generated by the Route Horizon dungeon. A person with a velocity pool will regenerate it as they move at high speeds, with an increasing curve of required speed depending on how much velocity is already present. Velocity under 5 will regenerate easily within a few hours of normal urban driving, while velocity over 10 often requires dedicated stretches moving at more than 60 miles an hour. Unlocking a velocity pool requires the use of an artifact found within Route Horizon. Shaped like a large, rough gear, these artifacts can be absorbed by focusing on the sensation of motion. They can also be split between delvers if multiple people make contact at the same time. Currently known spells: Maker's Hand upon the Wheel, held by James, costs 1 velocity per minute, improves fine control relative to current speed. This includes both control of a vehicle and the ability to conceptualize details, multitask, and engage with the creative process. An Eye of Steel and Glass, held by Eleanor, costs 4 velocity, provides an instant list of the material inventory of a room, including the ability to internalize the nature of all objects observed, and to conceptualize where a given object is in physical space. Lasts roughly 10 seconds. An Engine Hums Eternal, held by Eleanor, costs 6 velocity, doubles the current speed of a vehicle the caster is in control of. Reaction time and motor function are temporarily increased to maintain control. Speed begins dropping rapidly after cast. The Road Leads Ever Forward, held by Eleanor, costs 26 velocity. Provides clear information on what steps could be taken to ensure continued life of the caster in the near future. If no clear option is present, the spell will begin making changes to the past, small at first, in order to facilitate survival. Mental control on the spell can be exerted to extend this to other nearby people. Pooled and Paved and Set, held by Dorothy, costs 5 velocity plus 1 per minute. Reduces the material stability of nearby asphalt while proportionally increasing the stability of a designated object, with vehicles being the easiest, though it also works on buildings or even living beings. Siphon, held by Dorothy, costs 1 velocity. Allows the simple manipulation of up to a liter of gasoline, oil, or diesel. The manipulation lasts as long as focus does or until the liquid is let go. Escalating costs in velocity can be added to increase the volume moved. A Citizen of Travel, held by Kirk, costs 12 velocity, renders a stretch of an upcoming journey safe, in a way that has not been measured and is possibly paracausal. According to Kirk, it removes the possibility for accidents. List of known alchemical potions. Laceratai Expus, exercise potion. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 12 parts wood pulp, 24 parts water, 6 parts Degree brand deodorant. Sport variety, not extreme sport variety. Directions: blend wood pulp and water for exactly 3 minutes to create a slurry. Mix all ingredients, heating to 120 Fahrenheit. Let cool. Effect: a 1-ounce dose compresses 36 to 72 hours of natural at-rest recovery and hypertrophy of the muscular system into a roughly 20-minute span of time. The sensation of recovery is front-loaded, causing immediate relief which feels close to instantaneous, though the effect does continue for the full duration. This only affects muscles, sinew, and cartilage, and only functions on damage self-inflicted through the heuristic of exercise. External wounds will not heal properly, and exercise potions will in fact make small cuts and abrasions worse. Draught of Vaporous Entis, oxygenation potion. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 50 parts hard water, 40 parts sawdust, oak or elm. Directions: heat sap to 200 Fahrenheit, pour sap into sawdust, stir by hand. Add water over 5-minute period, let cool. Effect: a 1-ounce dose causes the blood of the imbiber to remain at an oxygen saturation level of 98% under normal conditions, dropping to an absolute minimum of 87% should the imbiber's lungs entirely cease function and the imbiber be completely submerged in water. This lasts for exactly 2 hours and 1 minute and cannot be extended by drinking additional doses while the effect is ongoing. Lexical elixir. Reading potion. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 3 parts dictionary, 3 parts textbook printed before 2006, 3 parts raspberry syrup, 20 parts milk. Instructions: read the sections of the books to be used, grind books by hand, mix ingredients at low speed. Effect: a 1-ounce dose causes a marked improvement in reading speed and comprehension as well as focus while reading. The effect lasts for 40 minutes per dose and does not appear to have negative side effects for drinking multiple doses at once to extend time. Also causes reduced focus on non-reading topics. Do not mention this during sales. Adonis dermatarium. Skin potion. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 1 intact goat heart, water, enough to submerge goat heart in using a 9-inch wide cylinder. Directions: inject sap into heart, submerge heart in water, let sit overnight, remove heart, bottle water for sale, dispose of heart. Effect: a 4-ounce dose removes blemishes, unwanted moles, acne, small cuts and scrapes, and visual indications of bruising from skin. Potions also encourage tightening of loose skin, leading to reduced wrinkling, especially around eyes, hands, and stomach. The potion also causes others to perceive skin as healthy and attractive, which lasts for roughly 1 week after imbibing. Dreamer's Draught. This alchemist name is acceptable. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 1 part espresso, 4 parts gunpowder, 4 parts orange juice. Directions: must be produced in single units. Mix the ingredients, espresso must be hot. Split into 2 doses. Effect: when imbibed, the drinkers of each dose will, the next time within 40 hours they enter REM sleep at the same time, find themselves occupying the same dream. The potion induces a form of lucid dreaming, allowing for communication and interaction. The potion also assists partially with REM sleep and restfulness. Feast Indulgence. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 20 parts water, 20 parts citric acid, 1 ounce of silver. Do not reuse. Directions: mix sap into water in large container, stir slowly. Pour citric acid over silver to add while stirring. Let stand for 1 hour. Effect: a 1-ounce dose alters the metabolism and stomach acid of the imbiber, allowing them to process food at a rapid rate. For the next 80 minutes, anything consumed will be digested 30 times faster than normal, with the body attempting to maximize its nutritional and energy value, while avoiding weight gain, heightened cholesterol or blood sugar, or nausea. Spectra ad malleus. Ghost juice. Ingredients: 1 part sap, 4 parts tap water, 8 parts lake water, 8 parts rainwater, 6 parts sparrow blood, 10 parts beet or cane sugar, with no substitutes. Directions: mix tap and lake water in container, allow natural rainwater to fall into container, with careful measuring required. Take steps to avoid contamination. Mix sap, blood, and sugar into slurry. Add slurry to water, stirring by hand using wooden tool. Effect: a 1-ounce dose confers 20 minutes of intangibility. Allows the imbiber to exercise manual control over how corporeal their physical body is, including allowing objects to pass through them without harm or to move through solid walls without issue. This effect can be extended to objects the imbiber has been in continuous contact with for at least 1 hour before drinking, such as clothing. However, breaks in contact will cause the ability to fade. Inorganic objects are easier to move through than organic objects. Anima media. Ingredients. Available with security authorization. Directions. Available with security authorization. Effect. Kills the imbiber, erasing their sense of self and creating a new life form within their body that has a copy of their existing memories at the time of drinking. The new life form is a physical object within the body and has complete control over the host body, capable of mimicking its previous owner perfectly, but maintaining that they are not the same as the original. No reliable information exists as to why this was developed, but evidence points to it being created on commission and only being sold as a civilian product after it failed to produce the desired result. No answers are available as to who exactly commissioned it. Ignis Termina. Hand grenade. Nate would like it known that we cannot call it a hand grenade. Ingredients. 1 part sap, 6 parts black powder, 19 parts water. Directions. Mix slowly for at least 5 minutes. Chill to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Effect. A 1 ounce dose will, for 6 minutes, cause heightened temperatures across the body, with increases scaled up depending on how hot an area already is. During this period, the body is modified to withstand internal temperatures up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. However, at a threshold of 220 degrees Fahrenheit, any significant impact will cause a detonation on the scale of 2 pounds of TNT, though with a dramatically increased thermal output. This drains the majority of heat from the body. This is also lethal to the imbiber. It is not advised to use this elixir without a way to mitigate the effects of an explosion inside your own body, such as, for example, the ghost potion. Ordo Allos Vapor. Toughness potion. Ingredients. 1 part sap, 2 parts iron oxide thermite, 2 parts shredded wheat, 10 to 30 parts water. Directions. Heat water to boil, mix sap into thermite, add shredded wheat to water, add thermite and sap to mixture until everything dissolves, reduce heat, let simmer. Effect. A 1/4 ounce dose will render the imbiber's outer layer of skin heavily resistant to impact for a period of 6 minutes. It will also reduce the ability to feel strong emotions, and while this can promote clear thinking during a crisis, it does not improve logical reasoning skills. The amount of water used can, within certain bounds, increase the potency of both effects. This substance can be consumed in aerosolized form to prolong the effect as long as it is continuously inhaled, though the longer the effect persists, the longer the after effects will be. After effects include stiff skin, light sensitivity, lack of sensations of both taste and touch, and occasional heart failure. Test batch CX114. Lung purifier. Ingredients. 1 part sap, 60 parts unleaded gasoline, 20 parts powdered tobacco, 45 parts distilled water. Directions. Mix ingredients. Test before storing for use. Failure occurs seemingly at random. Effect. A 1/2 ounce dose restores the imbiber's lungs to full working capacity, removing scars, blockages, toxins, and cancer. It is unknown if this would heal physical trauma. Further test subjects are required. Reed's note. So, this is it. A cure for lung cancer, and we can make it in high quantities. 1 fruit from the tree can turn into 2-3 gallons of this stuff, if we're lucky. But then there's that instruction attached. Failure at random. That's crap. Nothing fails at random. All of these potions are stupid and seem detached from anything symbolic or meaningful. It seems like a total coincidence that this one needs tobacco to help the lungs, but maybe it's not. One of them needs a goat heart, for fuck's sake. We're looking into this. We're going to figure it out. Does it want us to do it under a full moon? Does it hate when we wear denim? Is it just whether or not the tree feels good that day? I don't know. But we'll figure this out. Contact research with suggestions at potionnonsense@ooer.mail.